Okay, so here today I wanted to introduce another tutorial of how you can use Deku-P. It's a private blockchain. Deku is a layer 2 sidechain for the Tezos blockchains. I have having a lot of tutorials introduced about Deku sidechain. I will give a link later. And so in this we're gonna just give into two parts. The first one I just general explaining the example in the detail, and the second part I gonna just split it into a different video where I will using interacting with the demo. So here what we wanted to imagine that Deku-P is a blockchain that we run for you, that they have their own consensus, they have the node, they have the network, and then on top of it we will have a virtual machine that called the West Assembly, where you are interacting between, like a bridge between your Deku and your applications. And the application that I've used today is really simple. We just print the hello world, and we're gonna just use a really simple language, TypeScript, to interacting with our app. So as I said, Deku will take care of all the thing, how to handle the transaction, the consensus, and what we just need to do is we just focus on how to write the application. So first thing first, we need to have a Deku that run. So we build the Deku-P. To do that, you're gonna just clone the Deku directory inside Git. And we're gonna just use the branch called parametric develop. And so then we need to build it. There is a link that will help you to know how to build it. And I just assume that you read this, and I just used Nix to build a project. And this is how you build a project Deku, by using Nix. And so now we wanted to create our application using TypeScript. So inside our Deku directories, there we have a folders called example. So we wanted to store our application in these folders. So we just go inside this example. We created a folder named tutorial, and we're using npm init to initialize our applications in TypeScript. And so after this, we're gonna just use to install our TypeScript by using the npm install TypeScript. This command will create it for us a file called package.json. And inside this, we're gonna just configure how we wanted this project to be built. And there is a configuration file called tsconfig.json, where you actually can create it by using touch, created this file. And you can either copy this information that is needed for our tutorial, where you wanted to declare on the parameters for your compilers, for the root directory, the file that you created to combine at your main file for your applications, and so on and so forth. You can copy this file for this example. And for the script, instead of each time we're gonna just use build to build this this config file for us. So this setup you only need to do is one time. And for now we already setting what we need for our applications. And what we need next is how to configure our application to communicate with the virtual machine, so that it can communicate with the Deku blockchains. To do that, inside the package.json at the tag dependencies, you just need to call Deku-TS interop. So this is the name of our SDK virtual machine. So you just call find and point to the folders that contain the Deku SDK that support for the JavaScript. And so either you install that, you add that inside the package.json, or you can do manually by typing npm install and the file, the directory point to this file. And so you can see the complete declared for the package.json, and if you're in doubt, you can just copy this and into your package.json, where you define the main file that for your applications, the script, how you want to build, and what is the license, and the dependencies that we wanted to call to the Deku virtual machine. So now you already done the setup. So we wanted to started to write your applications. To do that, we just need to create the file. We name it called index.ts by using touch index.ts. So in here, you're gonna just do all the logic for your applications. So assume that we're gonna talk more detail about what we wanted to fill inside the index.ts. So assume that we already done our applications. So next is we wanted to communicate with the Deku-P, or how to communicate it with our blockchain. To do that, we need to have a wallet to actually do the address in Deku, so that we can say that who calling these actions. So to do that in Deku side, assume that you already combine in Deku blockchains. To create a wallet, you can just use the CLI called Deku-CLI. For more, you can use --help to bring out all the information that this CLI can provide. We have two ways to actually call the Deku CLI. Either you gotta just use Nix as alias, Nix run calling directly to this branch and calling the Deku CLI, or you can just use Deku CLI create wallet. This will help you to, after you executing this command, this gonna create it as a wallet, have the format of started from tz1 and then a list of a bunch of numbers, that.tz sign wallet. So this is the format of the generated Deku wallet. So we can actually rename it by using wallet.json, so that we can use it in a short form. So now you already have your applications, you already combine, you already set up, and you already have in the Deku side, you already have the wallet. So what we can do right now is we combine our project, and then we trying to communicate with Deku. To do that, we need to combine by ts index.ts. ts is to build our TypeScript to JavaScript. We build all the dependency and we run our TypeScript project. And for the Deku side, in our terminal, we using the Deku CLI provided by the Deku parameter, Deku-P. They have two options. Either you can use create mocks transactions, which means that we can dry run this transaction without running our Deku cluster, or to just test like on the application run as expected, or we're gonna use another called create custom transactions, where we actually interact with our Deku cluster, where you're running the node and you can see your transaction has been validated and what is the result of it. So in this example, we just use Deku COI, create mock transactions, and you input your Deku wallet, Deku address, to point who are the one calling these actions, and you input the action from your applications and the node that you call to the node, and the applications in the JavaScript type. And so here, let us come into the main part of writing our applications in type JavaScript, and we just wanted to bring out the string hello world. And so inside the our file index.ts, we need to import the library called Deku that underscore gs underscore into op. This library will help us to communicate, to know how to communicate with the WebAssembly. So to do that, we just need the keyword import form, and then calling this library. And inside we can declare the actions or the main entry point that we wanted to use in our applications. For instance, main, we wanted to call the main functions, where we have two parameters. That is the initial state of our virtual machine and the state transitions. When there is a new input, we wanted to import the get functions, where we take the single parameter key and it will return for us the value that is stored inside. And the set is taking a Deku, it will set a value for our Deku state with the key that we given. And transitions is the adjacent file that retrieves from the change. This transition type will contain the information of the sort, is the address or is the Deku wallet, is the transaction hash, is the operation hash, and the list of operations, where you have the key is the key information stored in this. And so this is the complete example of our simple hello world. We will import on this function from the library, and in our transition function we just wanted to say that this will of type transactions. Here, transactions, we name it tx, and so we wanted this we wanted to get the state called in our main, we call my state, and we wanted it adjacent, so we're using json.parts get my state. And so now we have the sort value from the state, and then we wanted to add hello world into this value, and we wanted to set this new my state to this new value hello world. And for main, we're gonna declare like my state empty from the initial state and the transition that we're gonna update it. So this is just explaining about the thing that I just explained before. And so now we already have our applications, and now we wanted to build it. We want to build our project, and second, we wanted to run the Deku COI without using the Deku luster. We just wanted to run to see if our functions, if our applications work well. So we call Deku COI create mock transactions, and we call the wallet is the wallet of the person, like in here, and the state is empty. And from the node, we call our applications. So then for if we wanted to run in the node, we're gonna just use till. This explained in the README of the Deku sidechains. We just use Deku till up dash dash, and then we declare the most is local, and we define the virtual machine is the node, and the applications is our applications. And then we're gonna just use create custom transactions. We point to the wallet or the node, the number of the validators running this Deku address, and the input is empty. So this, when we run that, it's gonna just print the state here of these transitions, and it's gonna just print for us the hello world. So now remember from the transitions type, we have the operations and operation hash. So it means that we are able to input the new string instead of given the empty string and asking the application print out. So to do that, we need to modify our transition functions in the index.ts. To do that, we do the same. We have the tx of type transactions, we just print out the first line is called getting the sort, and we just parsing the state. We print out again the current value of this state, and then for the new value that we wanted to get is we call tx.operations, where we actually getting the operation that user imported it, and then we just print out the new value, and then we set our state is this new value. So to do that, in this example, we're gonna just run with the Deku cluster, and you can just also use the Deku created mock transactions with the same syntax. So to do that, we just set Deku CLI create custom transactions, the node, the wallet, and remember now we can input our string called hello world, and so it's gonna just read this input, and it's gonna print out for us the value. And we can also having another example where we said, oh, let's just print something else. And so when we run the output of the virtual machine, it will be like getting short, the current value. We're gonna bring the current value. It's empty from the beginning, and it's gonna bring firstly the hello world, and then we're gonna call it again. It's gonna get getting short, and remember now the current value that we already stored before is hello world, is the updated the state. Now we said okay, bring for me something else, and so that updated the value and it's called something else. So here is the explanation of our tutorial, and you can find the complete code, subcode of this tutorial in this folder. I'm gonna give that inside the link below. And for more complex example, you can have the counters where you actually increase the numbers. Either you input the word increase, it's gonna increase the numbers that you already add inside your applications, or decrease if you wanted to decrease the counters. And another interesting example is called cookie games. This means that similar idea like the counting, but where you are actually saying that you want to increase the number of cookie, and at certain state where you have enough the cookie, for instance 5, then you wanted to say, oh, I wanted to be a Renmar, and so you can trade that and become a Renmar, and your cookie storage gotta be updated where your Renmar is E1 or something. And there is more interesting features of the cookie games. You can have a look at these folders. So let me finish this first tutorial, and I'm gonna just see you in the next demo sections.